The location has been changed, so you can all pray to Ganesha. It's all Ganesha everywhere. Okay, we will start. Sahana to silent chanting. He's chanting. You can chant with him. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sah Viryam Karavavahai तेजस्विनावतीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. So today's endeavor with Bhagavan's grace will be to travel along the three main paths: karma, bhakti, jnana. As we travel along a resequenced Sai Bhajan Bina Sukh Shanti Nahi Bhajan. For those who know, he has written this, and this forms the prelude or the preface for the previous Samarpan booklet. But let him tell you, he has not touched that. He has not flipped through that. He has not seen a page. Later on, maybe you can go back and check. Okay. A brief introduction for the need for any of this path, and then we will get into each path. There is a sea level and below sea level, right? Similar to that, when we are born, at the subconscious level, that is the bottom level, that means deep within us, about which we may not be conscious, like the deep-rooted sanskara, that is based on our karmic actions in the previous births. Our sanskara gets developed. In Tamil we say na samskaram seriyairukku. And these sanskaras, when we start growing, they manifest as something like as vasanas and tendencies. And these tendencies give birth to vrittis, thoughts. And these thoughts give birth to action. Right? This is the flow. This is the reason why two children born in the same family as twins, as brothers, sisters, brought up in most identical way by parents, they will have different nature altogether. Something may be in common, but many things will be separate. These are all the manifestation of the sanskaras. So this is something as in the analogy of the substratum. Don't go to the substratum on self, that Atman example. Here it is just taken. Within us lie these sanskaras, which are about which we are unconscious and about which we have no control. Unconscious, uncontrollable. And this give birth to, basically we will just mention two types of egos. This through sanskaras to vasanas to vrittis, thoughts, these thought patterns, these sanskaras manifest as vasanas and to thoughts related to two things, raga and dvesha, hatred and attachment, likes and dislikes. This is the layer about our raga dvesha, about our thought pattern. Now we are at surface level. We are conscious about it, but we cannot control it. And then out of this raga dvesha, our actions come up. Again, we are conscious about it, we cannot control it. Right? In the first and the last thing, we have absolutely no control. In the sanskaras, we have no control. In the manifested actions, we have no control. But in the raga dvesha area, where we say we are conscious about it, but we cannot control. There, a little leverage is given by Bhagavan. There comes our purushartha. There comes our self-efforts. Right? There is a small, not much. Not much, why he is saying, because if you analyze yourself, or if we analyze ourselves, in most of the thought patterns we have no control. When some hatred, some anger, something is coming up here, we have no control. Most of the times we repent afterwards, within a minute. Oh, I should not have done this. But पीर तो चल चुका, ठीक है? You can't do anything about it. Now, mostly it is not controllable, but with sustained self-efforts in one of these paths, karma bhakti jnana, slowly we can gain gradual control over these thought patterns when they are manifested out of our vasanas and about to hit. At that time, through this one of these paths, it's a gradual process. Conviction should be there. Determination should be there. We saw in the My Life is My Message talk about the determination. Now come to three paths. Karma bhakti jnana. Going back to the sanskaras, depending upon the sanskaras with which we are born, those who are action oriented, they cannot sit and sing bhajans. They cannot focus for a minute. You can visualize in Sadan, he is not naming. There have been people like that. Maybe there are people like that. There have been people like that, definitely. Action, full action. You ask them to close eyes in the meditation, that 2 minutes is a big effort. Okay, that is their sanskara. For those people, karma is the path to start with. Everything he is telling to start with. Gradually, you have to evolve and transcend all these paths and then merge with the divinity. Those who are emotional, sensitive by nature, and always willing to hand over, surrender the reins of their life to some supreme power. For them, bhakti is the path, depending upon their sanskaras. For them who are very rational mind, logical reasoning is required, and When you tell them that you are divine, they want to know clear. You explain to me crystal clear how I am divine. I see myself as this flesh and blood. You explain to me. Then all the concepts, Vedanta, everything you explain. They need for everything there is a why. And it is basic, it is understood, they are also willing to listen. If they aren't willing to listen, nothing can be done. For these people, jnana is the path. Right? Now we are resequencing the Sai Bhajan Bina, and then we are starting with the path of karma. Daya dharma bina sat karma nahi. That is the starting line. Somebody messaged me yesterday night, Guruji, last line is, that is why it is told as Bhagavan bina koi apna nahi. I told that devotee, wait for the suspense tomorrow. Last line may not be that. It may be totally changed. So we start with Daya Dharma Bina Sat Karmi Nahi. Right? As we have known, restless, they want to be in action. For them, those who take up action, and for everything, thanks to 40-45 volumes of Satya Sai Speaks and so many Vahinis, for basic psychology, basic one single factor common to all humanity across the world is that man always justifies whatever he does or whatever his likes and dislikes are. For those who take up this path, karma path, there are umpteen number of lines. Swami says, leave meditation, go, Madhava Seva, spring into action. So they will take 10 quotations like that. Similarly, bhaktas will take 10 quotations. Path of Jnana, they will go to Dhyana Vahini, Leela Kaivalya Vahini, Sutra Vahini, Jnana Vahini, and they will take from there 10 quotes. This is all not correct. You have to read all quotes. You have to understand Swami's teachings in totality, not in watertight compartments. These are the people who are men of action. What happens? You imagine that we are in Amritsar and we are doing this seva. We may be multi-millionaires, but we are at the chapel counter. We are taking up the chapel and every devotee, poorest people, we are taking and we are placing it in. And or in the langar we are feeding. We are making chapatis and we are feeding everyone. At least while doing this service, during that time, our ego is reduced. Because unless our ego is reduced, we cannot just pick up the chapel, given our power, given our wealth, given our background. So during the moments of our seva, our ego is reduced. Now this question will be for each path. Is realization possible in this path? See, there is nothing impossible. Okay. But before that, we will have this line kept with bold letters for all the paths. We have to validate all paths with this line. What is the purpose? The purpose is to completely erase and annihilate and transcend our individual ego. This is the purpose. If this purpose is fulfilled, self-realization here. So now this question, is realization possible? Means, in other words, we are asking the question, is complete erasing, annihilating and transcending ego possible through the path of action? Nothing is impossible, but for achieving that, you have to be 24 by 7 into service. All these office going, all these other things, other pursuits, because you are not into bhakti, you are not yet into jnana, so you are at the gross level of ego, very much identified with this body, mind, intellect. So, if through the path of service, your ego has to be transcended, means you have to be a Mother Teresa, 24 by 7 into service. Number one. Number two, very big requirement. When you are doing seva, all these sevadals who have been sevadals are doing seva in any wings, please note this. Whether you're an EHV, Balavikas, Sevadal, study circle, everywhere, you note this line. Through seva, realization may be possible if he's quoting this line. But note down in your diary after this talk. When you are doing an act seva as a Balvikas teacher, as a EHV teacher, coordinator, or as a Sevadal, simple Sevadal, service coordinator, spiritual wing coordinator, up to chairperson, center chairperson, national, world president. While you are doing any work in the organization, any work is a seva. Okay. Not necessarily physical seva, Narayan seva. Any work is a seva. While you are doing a seva, within quote, within bold letters, realization may be possible one day through seva if while doing a seva there is not even an iota of thought that I am doing this. If you are able to take up seva in this frame of mind, then realization may be possible. Now answer yourself. Question yourself, answer yourself. Have we raised? We have been doing various sevas for 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, 10 years. Whatever. Have we been able to transcend the thought that I am doing? He is not judging. You will have to think yourself. Very difficult, because for that, as he told, there should be we should not be householders. We should not be in family. We should be 24 hours. We should have dedicated to the society. Ideal example is Swami Vivekananda. The kind of hospitals, the charities, the seva he started in that. Most ideal example is Swami Shivanandaji, who started his life as doctor in Malaysia. But even while he takes his names, one thing comes along with that. They have been able to do, because that selfless seva, without the thought I am doing, because they had bhakti and jnana combined together in that karma. Right? So, given our life where we are in this grahastha dharma, it is very difficult to attain realization through the path. Because Adi Shankara, in how many years before he wrote in Atma Bodha, in various, he wrote Avidya Kama Karma. That means he says that, note for those who are listening for the first time, actions emerging from someone who has the ignorance, avidya, that I am this body, mind, intellect. If this is the source, from that, out of desires, out of karma, he takes up actions, karma. So, the very source being the ignorance that I am the body, avidya, the very source, the very basis being ignorance, actions emerging out of that source cannot remove this ignorance, right? Avidya is the basis. From there, karma, then karma. Such actions, the very basis is this. Such actions born out of the primal ignorance that I am this jiva. How can such actions remove this ignorance? Not possible. Right? We move on to the path of bhakti. Now the lines are Hari Naam Bina Anand Nahi, Sai Bhajan Bina Sukh Shanti Nahi. For most of us, if not all of us, this bhakti is a thing which we have got from our elders, right from our childhood, the way we have been brought up. We be Hindus, the way we have been brought up. This is the basis is there. Maybe we could not understand the significance, we were doing it ritually, but everyone has this basis of bhakti at home. But how seriously we take it forward as we grow, when we are exposed to the world of desires, that is the thing which we have to ask ourselves. In one stage or the other, in one birth or the other, this ritual, since we have got this from our parents, from our grandparents, this ritual worship, pilgrimages, some bhajans, some prayers, some morning rituals, half an hour puja, all these things will keep on going in all our births. But in one birth, either we have some misery in our life. Okay, like Kunti told Krishna that you keep me like this. You fill up with miseries because otherwise I may forget you. So either these miseries, they are a turning point in our life. Then we take to God. Enough of this world. This is one possibility. Second possibility, we are very sincere in what our parents have given us and we take it forward. Third possibility, in the previous birth, we were already very advanced bhaktas. So our sanskaras were like that. Remember, he told sanskaras, vasanas. So our sanskaras, when we are born, we might have been bhaktas at a very advanced level. Our sanskaras are shaped up. So our childhood, even at the age of 5, our mind goes only to the agraharam, only to the village temple, and our mind is always tuned to that. We can't miss the arati, we can't miss the prayers, we go. So these are the 3-4 possibilities of turning towards God. This bhakti helps much more than karma, because in karma, taking the example of langar and seva, what he told, karma helps us only during the time when we are doing the seva. Whereas bhakti can be in us all the times. Whether we are attending something in sadhan or not, it can be within us, bhakti all the time. But how much we are able to keep it within us all the time is a thing we have to see. Often it is seen that we are talking about Hari Naam Bina Anand Nahi. Often it is seen that the Ananda or the tears which roll down or the emotions. That's why he always tells in all the southern talks, take to devotion, not to emotion. So all this emotional this thing flow towards Bhagavan, they require this all these props, this dhoop, deep, Swami's photo, beautiful garlands, well decorated garlands. All these things are required to tune ourselves. That means we are strong enough. Our devotion has not gone evolved to that extent that we can carry that devotion within us, even while we are not in prayers. So often this is little more than karma, but this is also short-lived. Unless and until we are able to sustain that, right? So Harinam bina anand nahi, from Manushya Ananda to Brahmananda. Sukh Shanti. This is Sukh Shanti is not at worldly level. Eternal peace. Again Brahmananda. So it is in the Kali Yuga, Swami has given this Namasmarana. Namasmarana is the path for being tuned with the Lord all the time. Okay? So with this, the mind gets more purer. And in the bhakti, the bhakti foundation, this came up in much to a very high level in the 14th, 15th century, because in the ancient Upanishad era, in the entire 108 Upanishads, no Rama, Krishna, Shiva, Shakti, and all is there. At best, Indra, Varuna, like that, nature gods are there. So, Jayadev, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Meera, all they did, they captured this very nature of human being, love. And through the bhajans, through the Namasmarana, they captured, they got the secret of human nature, love, and they channelized this love towards God, which was being hitherto towards the world. That is how the Bhakti Marga came up. So, Bhakti has a very good advantage because even in the very beginning stage itself, the foundation of Bhakti is that the Bhakta or the to be Bhakta, the very foundation, otherwise there is no Bhakti. Foundation of Bhakti is that the Bhakta is willing to surrender himself to a supreme power. He is too willing to melt at the feet of the supreme power. So there is no ego involved in that. So the basis of bhakti is less ego. But is realization possible through bhakti? Or the first question, is complete erasing of individual ego possible in bhakti? It is possible, very much possible. But then, how should be our bhakti for getting realization? Very much possible. We should be a Meera. We should be a Ramadas. We should be Tulsidas. We should be a Kabir. At that level, realization is possible. What he means when he says, no care about the world, nothing to do with the world. It's all only God, 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 and God. What Meera sings, विष का प्याला राणा जी ने भेजा, पीबत मीरा हासी रे. Even while you are giving she is being given poison. She knows it is poison. Still, she is smiling. That is the level of bhakti. Realization is granted. लोग कहे मीरा भाई भाई भांवरे, नाथ कहे कुलनाशी, मीरा कहे प्रभु गिरिधर नागर. From the family, from everywhere, from the world, everyone is mounting humiliation on her. But what she is saying, Meera kahe Prabhu Giridhar Nagar. We have to say, nobody can judge any of our inner feeling in spiritual path. Even a guru can guide. A guru who judges is not a proper guru. Even if he scolds or if she scolds, side by side, he or she has to be always giving you the clarity always that you are divine, you are divine, you are divine, you are divine. I am scolding you only because I want you to discover the divinity within you. Okay. So it is up to us that have we or we have not become. That's why we are not realized. But is it possible for us to exist as that means that anything in the world means nothing to us? It's almost like existing as mad. Is it possible for us? We have to see. Now we go to the path of jnana. In the path of jnana, it has to start with Guru Seva Bina Nirvana Nahi. In the path of jnana, whether one likes it or not, whether one is able to accept it or not, a guru is necessary. Who is the realized master and who is able to transmit his inner experience, transmit his or her inner state through teachings to the disciple. Why? Because in the path of karma, when we were doing the action, at that time only our ego was less. Afterwards, when we come out of the golden temple and we get into our mercy, our ego starts. In the path of bhakti, again for few more hours. And the morning prayer may take us through for a few more hours also, but not 24/7. But then in the path of bhakti, as he told, the very basis, the very fundamental requirement of bhakti is whatever we mean by surrender. Okay, surrender, there is a separate session on surrender. Actually, what is surrender? But at least whatever we understand when we say surrender, there has to be an element of surrender in the path of bhakti. And for that surrender in the path of bhakti, you have got a prop, you have got the ideal, the form of Bhagavan, which whosoever is your Ishtadevata. So there is a form, and there are itihasas, there are so many stories behind that form. There are so many leelas attributed to that form. So very easy to surrender and melt, at least during the time when you are in worship. In the path of jnana, nothing is there. No prop. It is all self-inquiry, effort inside. So to that extent, you have to help yourself. How is it possible without a guru? What happens when one gets curious? Not you, one gets curious about this Vedanta, all these things. Couple of discourses they listen here and there. It is the maybe their rational mind, their logical mind is tuned to that. They are very much interested. So they think that www.google.com, Taittiriya Upanishad, Ishavasya Upanishad, Atmabodha, Vivek, everything is available. Realization is available in internet. But what is there in this path to reduce your ego? There is no prop, there is no God, and there is no seva you are doing. At the gross level, nothing is there. So even while you are trying to assimilate knowledge without a guru, this thing, there is no venue available for you to reduce your ego. You may be studying everything, and all along your mind, you are based on your sanskara. The mind may be understanding the Vedanta, all those things in the manner you like it. Okay. Even in Vedanta, 10 acharyas, if you say, at various levels. Acharya means 10 sannyas, 10 writers, maybe householders. In the 10 writers, you may say that there may be 5 different interpretations out of 10 for one same shruti, same verse. Why? Because their sanskara is playing a role in understanding. It is not going to help. Guru seva bina nirvana nahi. Taking sadhana chatushtaya from the Guru, surrendering totally. And like you surrendered your ego to God with form, here you have to surrender not to the form of Guru. Be very clear, not to the form of Guru, to the essence of the form will die. The form will grow old. To the essence, Guru Tattva, always Guru Tattva. Essence. In the beginning, it may be form, but you have to mature yourself to surrender to the essence of the Guru. So, impact of being with Guru can never be expressed in words. Only one thing he will say, and he will leave you to think of that glory. Where Shivanandji Maharaj or Chalmaya, they gave Vedanta, they wrote books after books, and they spoke and spoke and spoke and spoke. Seated at Ananda Kutir, he ended up writing 350 precious books, Shivanandji. As he had mentioned in the message, while he was in the Ananda Kutir, he could almost feel the invisible Maharaj penning down the Brahma Sutras commentary. Powerful. While these masters were giving Vedanta, here is the Guru Sri Ramana, who is considered to be incarnation of Shiva. He transmitted this knowledge. He helped in few disciples. Notable of them is Muruganar. Without speaking much, in the aura of Guru, seated at the feet of Guru, Muruganar attained self-realization. That is the impact of being with Guru in the path of Jnana. At the feet of Guru, the sadhaka grows. And Guru, then comes the next stage, Japa Dhyana Bina Samyog Nahi. Dhyana is to be understood as Nididhyasana, which Guruji insists always. Get inward, meditate, meditate, meditate. Without that Samyog Nahi, the equanimity, the merger is not possible. Because as he has told already, it is all the discovery is within. You are the self. Like in the pure canvas, though you thought you had drawn away and you are existing as outside, but you were always a part of that. How you will travel to this and realize that you are a part of it through meditation, through nididhyasana, japa dhyan bina samyog nahi. And then in those moments of upasana, when the Guru himself sits and meditates, and there is a Janmashtami or there is a Shivaratri or Navaratri on such occasions, when the Guru himself is lost in the upasana and he himself uh, offers, he does the prayers for the deity. When the Shishya looks at the Guru and says that here is the Guru who has been teaching us jnana and he is now into bhakti, at that time the Guru teaches, see, here you should understand one thing. साई नाम बिना परमात्मा नहीं, प्रेम भक्ति बिना उद्धार नहीं. So my child, don't think that in this birth or somewhere in your 20s or 30s or 40s, or even in those few cases where you are drawn towards jnana from the teens itself, don't think that this inclination towards the path of jnana came automatically. No. All those years spent in bhakti in this birth or in earlier births. Prema bhakti bina udhar nahi. Nothing has gone waste. From bhakti, you can evolve to jnana. It helps a lot. A lot. Some of the core devotees who have been with him for the past several, they have been core devotees, core bhaktas. Only in that height of bhakti, these teachings also, because in bhakti, when you are at an advanced stage, your ego is almost about to leave. It is there, avidya is there, ragadvesha is there, but at least you are very much conscious that this is not good, this is not good, this is not good. You are ever conscious. So with that, when you find a Guru, Guru Seva Bina Nirvana Nahi, it happens automatically. You are able to surrender totally and tell Master, you take me. मेरा जीवन तेरे हवाले प्रभु, पग पग तू ही संभाले. So that bhakti has helped you to reach me and ultimately to discover that you are that Tattvam Asi. At that stage, there is neither Guru nor Shishya. The Guru knows that you are that. He is only helping you. That's it. He's not doing a big thing. He is trying to serve you and help you to discover your divinity. Once you are in the shine of your eyes, he is able to make out that you are one with your divinity. His role ends. He doesn't carry any ownership. He doesn't need any gratitude from your side. It may be there in your heart. But na Guru naiva Shishya in Nirvana Shatakam. The role of Guru ends. But he says, all that bhakti, Harinam bina Paramatma nahi. This is a very contradictory statement. Paramatma is Parabrahman, Harinam is the physical form. How Harinama Bina Paramatma Nahi? He has written in that this thing. If he remembers, he has not checked now. He says only from the Harinam you can evolve to Paramatma. Bhakti has a very, very big role in evolving in jnana. Because you require that. Tamil you say Iram, huh? And the melt R and the Iram. Or in Hindi we say that Nami. That melting nature in Bhakti. So there is a lot of difference between approaching self jnana with love or approaching jnana with a dry heart without love. There is a lot of difference. With love, it always helps. There are various writings, in fact, self without love, self with love, and all. He used to study in 2010. It helps a lot. Even when the leaves are about to fall from the tree automatically, when your heart is so much filled with love for Bhagavan, for God, at that time, surrendering to a guru and taking up as it is whatever he is teaching or she is teaching and getting into the meditation, everything is facilitated by that. Now, towards the end, now the last line is changed. प्रभु दर्श बिना प्रज्ञान नहीं, विच दर्शन आत्मदर्शन. Harinam Bina, Sai Bhajan Bina, all those you have traveled through in this birth or previous birth, ultimately it is Atmadarshan. Prabhu Darsha Bina. This is that darshan which does not come and go. This is that darshan, your self-discovery, your discovery of your inner divinity. Once you have discovered that, as long as your prana is there, you are going to be in tune with that darshan, Atma darshan. We will summarize now. We will run through these three paths and touch some very important points. We say path of jnana, path of jnana, path of jnana as though it is a separate path, separate cult. You remove the path of jnana and the jnana, Jnana, you add one more letter, M, jnanam. What is the jnanam? The jnanam is that I am not this individual ego. I am the eternal, birthless, changeless, deathless, motionless self. This is the jnana. Don't even say jnana path, jnanam. Okay? In the path of bhakti, what is the ultimate this thing? When the southern talks, you remember attraction, faith, devotion, single point, adoration, worship, single pointed devotion, devotion expanding to love, love expands for the entire creation. Okay, ultimately Atmanivedana. Atmanivedanam is what? Atmanivedanam is jnanam. Atmanivedana is what? Transcending the ego and becoming one with the Supreme God. Call it consciousness. Whether you are merging with Krishna or Satya Sai, or whether you are merging in the Brahman, that Brahman, I believe that merger is more important. Upon merger, take this word, upon merger only one will be qualified to say that there is neither Rama nor Sai nor Krishna nor even the nomenclature of Brahman. In 2012, it is also in the blog post, one of the blogs in 2012, after returning from one Sahasranam Archana, a long poem emerged from within. Towards the end, it said, I am neither Atman nor Brahman. Because there is nobody to existing anymore to give it a name as Brahman, consciousness, Satya Sai, Giridhar Gopal, Prabhu Ramachandra, Sankat Mochan Hanuman. There is no one to give. So it is okay to merge in bhakti. It is okay to merge in jnana. Merger is important because after merger, the state of existence is same 100%, 101% it is the same. In the path of bhakti, the bhakta here, Bhagavan here. Okay. Bhakta, Bhagavan. And the process of bhakti. All the bhajan, pujan, kirtan, dhyan, all, everything. In the path of bhakti, devotion, the bhakta, the process of bhakti, and the Bhagavan all merge together. In the path of jnana, the one who is getting into nididhyasana, the meditator, the object of meditation, Parabrahman, the pure canvas, the substratum ocean, and the process of the nididhyasana all come and merge together. This merger is more important. You merge in bhakti, you merge in jnana. Let us not make them into watertight compartments and say, I will go only in this bhakti path, I will go only in this jnana. Right? Very important. Bhakti as jnanam is the Atma Nivedanam, the surrendering of the ego and the merger. Bhakti as seva is able to experience everyone as the same divinity. At the height of bhakti, if you are able to exist as Meera, not the penultimate stage even. Okay. Now, when our mind, suppose you have got a guru whom you trust, totality, and you have totally surrendered, and he's teaching you sadhana chatushtaya, then the prakarana granthas like Tattva Bodha, all these Viveka Chudani starting, and then he is taking you to advanced Upanishads and all those. When you are able to meditate on that supreme, formless, nameless, Nirguna, Nirakar, Parabrahman, when you are able to meditate on that Brahman with no mind, no intellect, nothing coming in between. Obviously, in Parabrahman, there is no form. When you are able to contemplate whatever is the process you have followed, let people say that you have been into jnana. when your heart flows out for the same Brahman in form, Satya Sai, Krishna, and you, you tears roll out, and then you are merging, you are just so close to that Lord, and then you are filled with that bhakti. You are seeing the same Parabrahman as a manifested form. Let people say you are in bhakti. And at the height of jnana, or at the height of bhakti, when you are able to, your love has expanded in bhakti, or yourself, you are able to feel that self. Like in the pure canvas, he told, not only that you, the drawing, has been an indivisible part of the pure canvas, unlimited, even all others are part of that. In the path of jnana, if you are able to actually feel that and go out to serve, or in the path of bhakti, single pointed devotion, uh, devotion transform into love, and the love expands to all his creation. Dvaita Bhava is there. His creation, you are saying. You go out and serve. Let people say he's a sevak. All these things do not count. Whatever is your frame of mind, you go accordingly. Okay? But one thing he has told you, we should not take to various quotations of realized masters or incarnations to suit our sanskaras. Swami has told that Manava Seva, he has told that leave meditation, go and serve. Where the people he might have been addressing in a Sevadal conference, he is addressing the Sevaks whose sanskara is Seva. That's why they have come into this fold as Sevadals. He's telling go. And go back to Jnanavahini. He has to say that iron, rusted iron, it has to be crucified to become gold. You have to enter into such meditation to realize the divinity. And then while he is addressing normal various levels of devotees gathered on a public function, thousands of them, he says, take up Namasmarana. It is the Chitta Shuddha Yoga in Kali Yuga. We should not take up one quotation to suit our sanskar. So we are bringing Swami to our level. No, we have to reach to Swami. That means all of them have to come together. We should realize that we will never be able to engage in 24 hours selfless seva. So only karma, it is very good to begin with, but only seva is not going to help. Only karma is not going to help. In the bhakti, is it possible for us, given our family, given our environment, given in society, to go to that extent, to be that mad? That prema, height of prema, where in the Rasa Leela, it is described that the Gopikas were not even bothered. They were not even able to think that whether their pallu has fallen down or not. To that extent of prema, purest prema. Okay, कोई आपको विष दे, कोई आपको ह्यूमिलिएट करे, नाथ कहे, कुलनाशी. Even that, is it possible? Difficult. So let there be the dosage of karma, let there be the dosage of bhakti. Along with that, not jnana path, the jnanam, that ultimately I am that divine. That helps a lot. He's not advocating any path. He's widening your horizon. He's explaining everything to you in the correct perspective. based on his experience. One thing he wants to share with you for this particular satsang, for the why do we suffer, he took Sarvapriyananda's talk as the basis. And for the Chitradeepa, the Panchadashi quote was taken, verses were taken. That is why he carries an iPad and now he has just noted in a couple of pages. Everything is flowing from inside. No reference. To the extent he has not seen the Sai Bhajan Bina 4 pages he had written and published this summer, he has not touched that. So it's all based on experience, inner experience. He has been a core zonal Sevadal convener in Delhi. Taken up service at all levels. Core into bhakti. Core into jnana. When he says he has been into, nothing great about this. God has taken him to. It's always he. God. His grace. His grace. Okay. So we have to understand Swami's thing and fit into our scheme of things, that how we can take up all the things together. And for that, he is serving you in the plate and he is taking in the spoon and then he is telling you, take. Like that he is serving. You have to just take the efforts of opening, taking in, digesting. That's it. That also there is no greatness about that is Swami's mission. Always attached to the source. Guru means essence, tattva, not form. Okay. Suppose bhakti is there. Some of you who are able to even respond to the Bhagavad Gita posts or the Chitradeepa sessions, meditation, this kind of meditation I took, or to Tattva Bodha or Upadesha Saram, on core Vedantic treatises. You yourself imagine, no judgment from here, you yourself imagine, before our entry into this path of Advaita, when we were devotees, we called ourselves as devotees, Sai devotees. Very often, it is one of those moments when we are seated in Sai Kulwant, we are one with the divinity. At that, for those few seconds, few minutes, we are self-realized because there is no ego at all. But most of the times, not all times, there could have been times when you had merged with the divinity even in bhajans. Most of the times, there could have been two options. One option is treating us as very small, treating the Lord as beyond comprehension, and the basis being that I can never reach out to you. You are that. You are Satya Sai. I am this Tuchya Prakriti. How I can reach? So with that bhava, we go and sing out. तू है अनाथ बंधु, मैं क्या जानूं तेरी महिमा, मैं क्या जानूं तेरी लीला, ममता माया में सब है अंधेरा. और we seek forgiveness, अपराध क्षमा करो. We would have taken this mode. Obviously, as human beings, we would have committed a lot of mistakes. Or a little better than that, may not be as a sinner asking for forgiveness. We would have pursued God form with various attributes. Proper form. Nandivahana Nagabhushana. Okay? Like that. With all these things, all the forms, all attributes. Mora Mukata, Pitambaradhari. In this, the possibility of getting a thought that we and he are one, it is very less. You could go back and think 2 years before getting into all this thing. How was your process or your path of bhakti? Most often, it would have been either seeking forgiveness or thinking, imagining of the glorious form. Most often in bhakti. Whereas now that you have taken this path, we are nearing the conclusion, maybe another 5-7 minutes. In the path, being in the bhakti, has he ever told you, leave bhakti? If that was the case, why that my life is my message session should have been given? He could have stuck only to Wave Ocean, Chitradeepa, and all such sessions, Dridrisha Viveka, and all those things. Why that? And why that Anandaram Anandasham first part came, Prema Swarupa. Being in the path of bhakti, when we understand through various satsangs that actually, in reality, that day when I attain that realization, I will be existing as that. But even before that, the second talk, Sunday talk, which he gave from the office, even while you think you are away, there is one Anantam Brahman. If you are away, there cannot be another Anantam Brahman where you are existing, or another limited non-Brahman which you are existing. So while you are under the illusion that you are drawn away because of your ego, realize that everyone, billions and trillions, the entire all living, it has to be in that infinite Anantam Brahman only. That monk said, you believe in Aya, you believe in everybody. When I'm telling that you are Brahman, why would you believe? When you are fed with this sumptuous, this thing, learning that you and God are one. And so what Swami has been saying, you and me are one, you and me are one, you and me are one. When you are fed with this day in and day out, what happens? From that, मैं क्या जानूं तेरी महिमा, मैं क्या जानूं तेरी लीला, और अपराध क्षमा करो. Okay, from there, or this Neelakanta Mahadeva Gauri, Chandrajuda Jatadari Nandivahana attributes. From there, how the dimension changes. A bhajan with which Tiwari used to sing very often. What is that bhajan? How the dimension changes now? निस दिन ध्यान करूं मैं तेरा, जन्म जन्म का मिठे अंधेरा, पर ब्रह्म परमेश्वर रेवा, पर ब्रह्म परमेश्वर देवा, परम कृपालु साई महादेवा. हे Parabrahma Parameshwar, with all this knowledge, Janam Janam ka mithe andhera, at least At the knowledge level, at the understanding level, this ignorance is gone that I am this limited sinner Jiva. Or you are confined only to that Nilakanta Mahadeva Gauri Vandana. Janam Janam ka mithe andhera. That ignorance is gone. Now I have known with all these teachings, with all these sessions, with all this, what I have known. Parabrahma Parameshwara Deva. You are that Parabrahma Parameshwara Deva. I have understood. That is why my Janam Janam ka mithe andhera. Parabrahma Param. I may be far away. I may attain realization only in the next birth. But I know that I am convinced, Mananam part, I am convinced that I am Parabrahman. I am the Atman. I am the invisible part in the pure canvas. I am the substratum ocean, never a wave. Ultimate realization may take time, but I am convinced. This is how Jnana helps in strengthening the bhakti. How strengthening the bhakti? Having understood now that you are that Parabrahma Parameshwara Deva, Hey Sai Prabhu, Satya Sai Bhagavan, only you have to grace me. Parama Kripalo Sai Mahadeva. I have understood, but nevertheless I know that even for reaching you in your grand state as Parabrahma Parameshwar, I need thy grace, Parama Kripalo Sai Mahadeva. See how the dimension of bhakti has changed. How the expansion has started. This is how. So beautifully the bhakti and jnana can be combined. Still you can be at Swami's lotus feet. Beautiful. But now, as Hanuman said when he was asked by, someone says that Vibhishana asked, someone says Rama asked, nevertheless, it is the immaterial who asked. 3 stages. How you perceive Rama? He says, when I perceive Rama in his physical form, I am his das. I am his das, Hanuman, at his feet. When I perceive myself as an ansh, as a part, minuscule part of Rama with the mind. Okay, with the mind when I perceive Rama, I know that I am a part of, though I am not full, but I am still a part of Rama. When I meditate, purest sattvic, most sattvic intellect, I draw inward, meditate and meditate, I realize that I and he are one. Tvam eva aham. Tvameva aham. With this Tvameva aham conviction, mananam, you go to bhakti. Your dimension is very sure, 99% sure. Few of you, when the sadhan opens, when you sit in bhajan, the whole dimension of bhajan participation is going to change with all this learning. Very sure. You can almost see from here how the dimension is going to change. It doesn't have to be sitting there and watching you or asking you questions. He knows. With this, so most important is that you should come out of your self-branding. That I am a bhakta, I am a sadhaka, I am a sevak, only this is correct. No, don't brand yourself. There is a song which goes, the line is like that. पानी रे पानी तेरा रंग कैसा जिसमें मिला तो लगे उस जैसे. Be a water. Let loose yourself. Don't add any color in your spiritual sadhana. Okay, water, it assumes the color of milk or tea or whatever, wherever you mix, it has no color. Be free. Don't brand yourself as only this path. Depending upon your frame, inner this thing, purity, let, let it be seva, let it be bhakti, let it be jnana. All paths lead to one final destination. Right? Now with this change dimension, the effort will be to sing this bhajan with the resequenced and end with this satsang with prostrations to Bhagavan. See how we are traveling from karma to bhakti to jnana. दया धर्म बिना सत्कर्म नहीं, हरि नाम बिना आनंद नहीं, साईं भजन बिना सुख शांति नहीं, भगवान बिना कोई अपना नहीं, साईं भजन बिना सुख शांति नहीं, गुरु से ज्ञान, गुरु सेव बिना निर्वाण नहीं, जप ध्यान बिना संयोग नहीं, हरि नाम बिना परमात्मा नहीं, प्रेम भक्ति बिना उद्धार नहीं, हरि नाम बिना परमात्मा नहीं, प्रभु दर्श बिना प्रज्ञान नहीं, प्रभु दर्श बिना प्रज्ञान नहीं, आत्मदर्श बिना प्रज्ञान नहीं, दया धर्म बिना साईं भजन बिना, हरि नाम बिना गुरु सेव बिना, जप ध्यान बिना, प्रभु दर्श नहीं, निर्वाण नहीं, प्रज्ञान नहीं। Prostrations to Satya Sai, prostrations to the divinity in all of you. Hari Om Tat Sat. Jai Sai Ram. This can go a long way. Let all come together beautifully. Why only one? Sai Ram. Now that person gets the answer for the last line. Last line is not what is there as per the bhajan. And he would ask excuse from the composer that the sequence has been changed as per the process of sadhana of a human being. Sai Ram to all of you. He's quitting the satsang now. After some time, of course, it is available. It will be available in his subscribed channel in some time. Nevertheless, Raghava will send you the YouTube link also. Next week for some profound Vedanta essence. So we will toggle between bhakti and jnana bhakti so that we take both of them together. Right? Jai Sai Ram.